Ooh, what's up, everybody? My name is OMG WTF LOLTWBRB, and this is TNA. We are wrestling. Welcome back to more TNA Episode 2, and from the feedback, it seems like Episode 1 was well received, so I'm happy to still be doing this. I'm excited to see where it goes, and without wasting any time, let's just jump right into this, shan't we? I don't see anything else we need to really talk about here. So our first match of the night, of course, is a pre-show matchup. 48D plus rating here, and a decent pre-show match. The team of Conan and Norman Smiley defeated the team of Kid Cash and Drew Galloway in 9 minutes 57 seconds when Conan defeated Drew Galloway by submission with the zip lock. Whatever the hell that is. Never heard of that move. I'm going to have to look that up. Drew Galloway, weak link in this match, struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performance. That's to be expected, though. Mr. Galloway is quite young. I think he's actually only 16. He might be 16 years old. Maybe 18, but I do think he's under the age. I don't think he's a legal adult yet. Either way, though, Drew Galloway, still very young, but is learning. Francine did some good work ringside. She is the manager of Drew Galloway. There's a bit of a storyline. I want to run with that, but haven't quite introduced it yet. We'll see it a little bit later on. We're still doing the beginnings, but that's something I guess to keep in the back of the mind. Anyway, Drew Galloway with an in-ring performance of a 23. Kid Cash with a 56, outperforming everybody here. Norman Smiley with a 53. And Conan with a 45. Is that a 45? 45. Is it Conan? Yeah, Conan, right? Because it's not like Conan the Barbarian. It's Conan. Anyway. Drew Galloway improving in his performance. So definitely a good night for Drew Galloway here. Got to be in the ring with three of our better talents here. And developed some more skills. Good for Drew. Either way, we open up TNA with a 57C- rating as Impact begins with the commentators going over what we'll see tonight, especially the big one, Shane Douglas versus Bryan Adams. Whoever wins that match will be the second competitor to be confirmed for the King of the Mountain match, which will confirm our first ever TNA heavyweight champion. Also, Chris Hero will be in action. And speaking of Chris Hero, we see Jeff Jarrett making his arrival. And Jeff Jarrett is fuming from last week after he lost to Chris Hero, as the replay shows from last week. Chris Hero defeating Jeff Jarrett to earn the first ever spot in the King of the Mountain match. And once in the ring, Jeff Jarrett is going to vent his frustration, and he takes to the mic. All right, laugh it up. So what? I lost last week. That don't matter, and I'm going to tell you why it don't matter. That's right. Last week, I, for one, wasn't prepared to be in action. And it has been a while since I've stepped in the ring, so I was shaking off a little bit of a ring rust, as you may know. So, Chris Hero? Yeah, you listening? You know, you won. But next time I get my hands on you, boy, things will be a lot different. And I will be getting my hands on you very soon. Because despite last week's setback, I promise you, that's damn right, you better be listening. I promise you, I will be in this King of the Mountain match. You can mark my words. And you know what? I demand at least a week's notice on who I'll be facing so this won't happen again. So, Jerry, since you've been ignoring my calls and you haven't returned home in a week, I think it's obvious you've been avoiding me. So let me pull up the handy-dandy notepad here. And let's just state one fact. You can't avoid me for long. In fact, I'm here. You're here. Let's talk now, old man. Yeah, let's talk now. I ain't leaving this ring until we talk, as a matter of fact. So, Mr. Jarrett sits down, we might be here all night because Jerry is a very stubborn man, and so am I. After a minute or two passes by, Jeff Jarrett is met by the arrival of not Jerry Jarrett, but the acting general manager, Norman Smiley. Jeff If you want to talk, we could talk in the back of my office. This is not the way to go about things, though. By the way, I've never heard Norman Smiley talk, so I don't know if this is a good accent. Smiley, why in the hell am I having to deal with you now, 2 weeks in a row? Where the hell is my old man? Mr. Jarrett is on vacation, but we'll be back in time for our first pay-per-view event, Genesis. Vacation. And he left you in charge while he was gone over me. You know, me and that old man are going to have quite a lot to talk about when he gets back. But you know what, Smiley? I'm not an unreasonable man. If you're willing to listen to me, then I'm willing to go back to the old man's office and talk. Okay. Finally, some reasonability here. Thank you, Jeff. You know, shall we? We shall. Jeff Jarrett then nods. He leaves the ring, walks away with Norman Smiley in the back. And I'm just thinking about this now, but I'm just going to throw this in here. I should have put this in because I was actually looking to fill time, so this would have been a good thing to put in. Anyway, I'm just going to add this in here as maybe the cameras follow them to the back, and we see cameras in the back and Jeff Jarrett, and then proceeding to tell Norman Smiley, you know what, Norman? I got a couple things I got to do real quick, okay? You give me a few minutes and I'll be in your office. I promise you that. And then Jeff Jarrett walks away, leaving Norman just kind of standing there like, okay. Anyway, before we go ahead and close this down, we do have a couple of things here as to a note. Chris Candido, as many of you hopefully know who Chris Candido is. He is, hate to be this being the reason he's popular, but he's kind of famous for being Sonny's boyfriend. Anyway, Chris Candido showed up so high on drugs, he had to be sent home. We gave him a stern warning, but unfortunately his personality got worse. But at least Sonny was happy, right? Kid Cash then antagonized, spoiler report, Sabu, so much that a fight broke out and it had to be broken up. We gave Kid Cash a stern warning, and his personality got worse. I don't know if Sabu being here is a spoiler report. I mean, I believe I showed you guys the roster anyway. But yeah, Sabu's officially in TNA, and hint, hint, nudge, nudge, he might be on the show here tonight. Anyway, the color commentary and announcing did well here tonight. Got the show off to a strong start. Crowd was hot. Started off the King of the Mountain segment, which should have been started at last week's show, but I forgot to do storylines. Almost forgot to do it on this time as well. Moving on, we have a 39D- as we take it backstage with Bobcat. And before any of you guys call me out, yes, I know this might be a bit of a futuristic look for Chris Hero because he's a lot older in this picture, I believe, than he is currently, but I did not like the really skinny Chris Hero look, so if I'm going to stand to look at the guy, I got to at least have a picture I can stand to look at. Anyway, let's take it backstage to Bobcat. I'm backstage, and joining me at this time is the man who beat Jeff Jarrett last week to earn his spot in the King of the Mountain match, Chris Hero. Chris, thank you for joining me. Well, it's my pleasure, Bobby. After last week, you must be riding a wave of emotions right now. Any prediction on who's going to come out on top between Shane Douglas and Bryan Adams and join you in the King of the Mountain match? You know, if I had to guess. Orale, no one cares what you gotta say, Hero. Last week, everyone knows it was just a fluke. And when it comes to the King of the Mountain match, we already know that you're going to lose. Hopefully, after I whoop your ass tonight, TNA officials will replace you with a true competitor like me. Like Aguila. Is that right? Well, Aguila, I'm not a patient man. So instead of talking and waiting, why don't we just skip to the fighting? I'll see you out there, S.A. Hero then walks off towards the entryway, leaving Aguila sitting there kind of Did we continue a promo on this one? Let me just check real quick. No, we did not. Aguila just kind of sitting there like, I'll teach this disrespectful, mofo a lesson or something like that, practically. Anyway, Aguila, if you don't know who he is formerly known as S.A. Rios in the WWE. That's kind of why I had Chris Hero take the little jab of him saying, see you out there, S.A. Anyway, he debuted his degenerate gimmick, and it got an average rating, and he is also getting better at his gimmick. No improvements, though. Before we go ahead and have the match, I'm going to take a quick drink of our sponsor of the video, who's not really our sponsor, but if they want to be, I'll take your money. Gatorade, everybody. Blue cherry flavored. Not the best flavor. I prefer cool blue, but when you accidentally buy blue cherry, it's not bad. Quite good, actually. Oh, that's good. Just not as good as cool blue. All right. Anyway, let's move on to the match. So we have our opening match of the night, which did not do too great, but I guess it did good enough for it being, TNA. 30 E+ rating, and about that had subpar wrestling and little heat. Chris Hero defeats Aguila in 12 minutes 40 seconds with the Hero's Welcome. Color commentary and announcing helping. Aguila had an in-ring performance of a 31. Chris Hero with the 34, outperforming Aguila. No worker improvements here. We move on to our next segment, which gets a 60 solid C rating as we send it backstage to Bobby once again. Ladies and joining me, ladies and joining me. Why do I keep saying that? Ladies and gentlemen, joining me at this time, Shane Douglas. Shane, what's on your mind as you head into the King of the Mountain qualifier match against Bryan Adams?
Bobby, you want to know what's on the franchise's mind? Well, let me tell you. You see, I'm focused, Bobby. I've never been more focused in my career. Destiny is calling my name, and I'm not talking about the stripper I met last night. But trust me, Bobby, she sure as hell was screaming the franchise's name. But I've got a destiny, Bobby. A destiny to cement my name as the first. Not many have done it. Only the greats. Rogers. Orville Brown. Flair. Oh, and who else? That's right. Shane frickin' Douglas. But how many of them can say they've been the first world champions of two companies? Not many, Bobby. If any, Bobby. And that's my destiny. And I'm not gonna let some basic-ass biker or a skank of a girlfriend stand in the way of destiny. Thanks for your time, Bobby.
So Shane Douglas, as he put it himself, has a destiny. He's going to be one of the greats, he says, as he will be. I don't know if it's the first. I'm not going to say it's the first, but he's going to be in a small list of people that may involve him being the only person on the list of champions who have held two companies' championships as the first person. Of course, he's the first ever ECW world champion, and he's looking to be the first ever TNA world champion. Will he do it? Anyway, Shane Douglas was superb, working without a script. He had the crowd in the palm of his hand the entire time. That's Shane Douglas for you. Moving on. 49 D+ rating as J.D. Michaels makes his entrance for the first time in the Impact Zone, flirting with any and every girl he sees on his way down to the ring. And once in the ring, he takes to the mic. Let's lower the music. Ladies and ladies, my name is J.D. Michaels. And no, you're not dreaming. And your weeks are about to get even better because this Canadian cutie is inviting you to join me week after week right here in the Impact Zone. That's when Dawn Marie shows up of ECW fame, and she's at the top of the entryway when JD spots her. And what do we have here? How are you, baby? Why don't you come down and join JD in the ring? Dawn Marine smiles and gladly joins J.D. Michaels into the ring. That's right. Tell me something, baby. How would you like to give old J.D. a kiss? And then afterwards, maybe we can go somewhere more private. J.D. then puckers up his lips, leans in for a kiss, but instead of getting a kiss on the lips, he gets a smack in the face instead from Dawn Marie. Pissed off, J.D. goes after Dawn, but the lights go off right before he can even get to her. And then as they come back on, standing in front of J.D. is not Dawn Marie, but in her place is Sabu. As Sabu makes his TNA debut. JD Michaels debuted his prima donna gimmick, but it got a below average on it. He is getting better, though. That's good. Dawn Marie got an above average on her old school valet gimmick, and Sabu got an average rating on his Maniac gimmick. This got the crowd hotter. JD Michaels looked lost out there, but he is a little young and learning. That's to be expected. Sabu did look good. Are we still recording? We are. And that's enough. All right. No worker improvements as we move on into our impromptu matchup between Sabu and JD Michaels. 48D plus rating, and about that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Sabu defeats JD Michaels in 10 minutes 20 seconds with the springboard DDT. JD was really off his game here tonight. That's unfortunate. Dawn Marie did some good work ringside. She is going to be the manager for Sabu. Color commentary did some work here tonight. JD Michaels had an in-ring performance of a 21. Sabu with a 59. And Michaels is improving in his performance, so at least he made the most of it. And this was our high spots match of the night. I'm not sure if I want Sabu to be in the X Division or not, though. He is a bit of a star, so I feel like he should probably be in the main event scene at least. And I might have him be in the King of the Mountain match. I haven't decided yet. Or I might have him be in the Ultimate X match that we'll eventually have for the X Division Championship. I haven't decided what I want Sabu to do, because he can obviously be in the X Division, but just because he can be doesn't mean he has to be. You know, guys like Chris Hero obviously can be in the X Division, but he's competing in the main event scene. So I don't know what I'm going to do with Sabu quite yet. And just because they're in the X Division scene as well doesn't mean they can't compete for the World Championship. It just, the X Division is an exclusive title. You have to be high-flying. Like, I think I explained this in the first episode, but the way kayfabe reason we're going to be saying this is you have to go like before a judge and show your skills, and they will determine if you are a competitor that can be in the X Division. So you have to at least have, at this moment, not awful high-flying skills. It's like the bare minimum, but it will go up over time to maybe like at least average high-flying skills, and that's going to be like the X Division highlight. But anyway, enough about that. Let's just move on. Sending it back, oh no, not backstage. We got some promos from Kid Cash and Conan that were filmed and sent in, as these two will be facing each other next week in our third King of the Mountain qualifier match. So let's go ahead and show those. First off is Kid Cash and Terry Runnels as they pull up in a fancy car, and Kid Cash stops, gets out of the car, and he begins to talk into the camera. This thing on? I think so. Hey, Conan! K-Dog! It's me, Kid K. And it seems next week you and I are going to do a little dance over a spot in the King of the Mountain match. It sucks to be you, doesn't it? To have to go up against me? Look, I may be wrestling's best kept secret, but I've never been good at keeping secrets. I've got a bit of a big mouth. So here's how it's going to go down, K-Dog. Next week, you and I are going to put on one hell of a show. But at the end of the night, you're going to be staring up at the lights. And that's no spoiler. That's a promise. That's when we hear Terry Runnels in the background. Come on, baby, I want to go already. I'm not doing a voice. Cash kind of looks back at her, smiles. I've got to go, Conan. My lady's calling me. But I'll see you next week, K-Dog. Then Kid Cash gets back in the car and he drives off. And then let's play Conan's promo here. Got to go down to promo 2. There we go. Conan is on the streets of, somewhere in Mexico, wearing his colors, and I'm going to do my best Conan impersonation, so don't pick on me too bad. Next week, oh, this is horrible already. Conan versus Kid Cash. Cash, your ass is grass, gringo. Let me tell you something. Your ass was dead the second you accepted this match, because there's only one king in these streets, and you're looking at him, Bato. So come next week, you best bring your A-game, because if you bring anything else, then your ass better not show up, unless you've got a death wish. Not the best Conan promo, but I never claimed to be a good Conan writer. Conan just kind of spits out what he says. Either way, a little bit of hype package for next week. Kind of wanted to do things a little different. Instead of just announcing the match, I did the old school classic promo v promo thing where two people cut a promo on each other to hype up the next week's match. Anyway, gained some heat for the King of the Mountain storyline. Terry Runnels is learning to show more charisma. That's good. And there we go, just 43 solid D, confirming that next week will be Kid Cash versus Conan for the third slot in the King of the Mountain. 62 solid D rating as we have a freestyle segment, which is the entrance of Queen and King Knight as they make their TNA debut. Of course, Queen is played by Madaja. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And King Knight is Nelson Knight or Viscera or Big Daddy V. Call him what you want, but we're calling him King Knight. Or Mabel. Don't forget Mabel. Anyway, 62 solid C rating for this. Unfortunately, though, Queen got a below average on her seductress gimmick, and King Knight got a below average on his monster gimmick. That's unfortunate. And unfortunately for Quicksilver, he is King Knight's opponent here tonight. 40 D- rating in an extremely short match. King Knight defeats Quicksilver in 54 seconds with a spinning heel kick. Queen did some good work at ringside. The color commentary and announcing helped this match. King Knight had an in-ring performance of a 43. Quicksilver had a 27. Who's Quicksilver? I don't know. Some local J-Brown. All right. 64 solid C as we just have, basic King Knight's not done with Quicksilver. Makes more of an example out of him to kind of just further, show the roster that don't step up to me, dude. All right. Moving on, 57 C- rating as we send it right backstage to Bobcat for the last time here tonight. Joining me now is the man who will face Shane Douglas in just a few minutes, Brian Adams. Brian, what's your thoughts as you head into this match?
I heard what Shane Douglas had to say tonight. So the only thing on my mind is shutting Shane Douglas up and playing spoiler. As a matter of fact.
And that's when King Knight and Queen walk by, and Knight gets in the face of Adams, and we have a bit of a stare down between the two big guys.
You want to go, big guy?
Knight then laughs, walks away from Brian Adams, and Adams just kind of tries to shake it off.
What was I saying? You know what? It doesn't matter what I was saying, Bobby. I'm not one for words anyway. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to beat Shane Douglas's ass, and then I'm going to go on and win the King of the Mountain and be the first ever TNA World Champion.
And he walks off as we get ready for that matchup. I'm not too sure what the hell was up with that stare down between Brian Adams and King Knight, but it kind of threw Brian Adams off his game a little bit. But he promises that an ass whooping is coming to Shane Douglas. So let's see as we head up to that match right now. Main event time, 50 D+ rating, and about that had great heat and decent wrestling to it. Shane Douglas defeats Brian Adams in 16 minutes, 18 seconds by pinfall with a belly-to-belly suplex following interference from King Knight. We also saw Queen distract Adams, and I imagine the referee. That's mostly what it was. So the way I'd imagine this happening, Queen goes in there, distracts the referee. Brian Adams, of course, sees what's coming. King Knight comes down. Him and King Knight kind of fight, and he fights King Knight off the apron or whatnot before King Knight can even really get in the ring. But unfortunately, the distraction was provided, and the belly-to-belly suplex connects. Shane Douglas gets the victory and is the second competitor in the King of the Mountain match. Biker Babe did some good work ringside. Shane Douglas with an in-ring performance of a 59. Brian Adams with a 48. And that advanced both the King of the Mountain storyline and the Battle of the Big Men storyline. No worker improvements, though. And we end off the night with a solid 60C, as backstage, Jeff Jarrett is walking up to the management's office with a little bit of a cocky walk in his step here. To go talk to Norman Smiley, of course, when he spots Norman Smiley locking the doors of all things. Whoa, hey, hold up, Smiley. What do you think you're doing? You can't lock up. Yeah, we still got a meeting, remember? Jeff, I've waited up all night. I was already doing you a favor by having this meeting in the first place, and then you blew me off all night. Well, you didn't say when the damn meeting was. I told you I had some errands to run. You've always got an answer for everything, don't you, Jeff? Look, I'm not playing your game. You may not like the fact that Mr. Jarrett put me in charge, but you damn well will respect my decisions. And when it comes to getting you another shot in the King of the Mountain match, the answer is no. No? Oh, come on, Smiley. Let's talk this over. You had your chance, Jeff. I'm done talking. Oh, hell, you know what? Me too. Jeff Jarrett then jumps Norman Smiley from behind, and we have a little bit of a brawl backstage. Of course, Jeff Jarrett using anything and everything in his sight, slamming him against the wall, using whatever he can find to hit Norman Smiley with, and eventually beating him down to the point where Smiley is down on the ground. Jeff Jarrett hovers over him and stands over him victorious and ends off Impact by saying, "You better rethink your damn decision, Norman, or this is going to happen week after week after week." I'm getting a phone call apparently, so I guess this is the best time to end off the video. Give me 1 second. Let me just let this person know I'm doing something. If I can. Alright, anyway. No worker improvements. Let's go ahead and end off the show. See if we got anything else. Ooh, 55 C- rating, increasing our popularity in